Welcome to Power Conversations and Connections. Thank you for joining the conversation where we talk life, the beauty and vulnerability on the journey to self love and evolving into our best selves. The journey is full of ebbs and flows, right? One of the things that stop us from becoming our best selves sooner than later is our lack of confidence. And our lack of confidence generally comes from the world around us prior to that moment, right? Where we're trying to walk into a space and take up space in a commanding way. One of the things that we encounter is having to deal with why don't we have the confidence that we should? We know that along the way we've experienced some things, right? But what we want to do is make sure that we don't allow those things, those circumstances of our life, the sibling environment, the words that have been spoken over us by our parents, the challenges that we've had in the workplace, even looking for a job, searching for a job, deciding if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to have a 9 to 5, if you're going to do both. All of those things build us up and help us to feel confident. Get to a place where I say you square your shoulders, you walk in the room, and you take complete command of the room. The temperature changes when you walk in and you exude, I am here, I'm here to take up space, and I'm comfortable in my space. What stops us? I'll tell you, what stopped me was not seeing myself, me, through the lens of my own eyes, not accepting who I was meant to be, going from wanting to do this to pursuing it and failing, and letting failure just kind of knock me out, even if it was for, a period of time, a moment. Those things stopped me from being confident, not liking what I saw when I look in the mirror. One of the things that really hinders us is our image and the perception of ourselves, right? But if we're going to get to that place where we are just confident 99% of the time, because you've heard me say it before, perfection isn't real. It won't happen 100% of the time. So we're not going to seek to do that, right? But when we can walk into a situation or have a conversation, a tough conversation with confidence, 99% of the time, we're good. But taking up space is a conscious thing. It's an intention. When you are in situations where you've been beat down, physically beat down, mentally beat down, there's no spiritual component to what you're doing. You may be experiencing all sorts of things that make you go, and wonder if you're good enough. Wonder if you have value. But let me say this to you. You don't have to ask anyone's permission to value yourself. And at its core, that's what lack of confidence is. I don't trust me. I don't value me. I don't think enough of me to feel good about where I am. And so my question to you is, what are you willing to give up on the road to becoming confident? Because on the road to becoming confident, on the journey to becoming confident, you're going to have to give something up. You're going to have to be okay with losing pieces of yourself, pieces that you thought fit or they fit at that time, but you're moving forward, you're going into a new space. And the thing that had you in your other space very well and extremely confident, kind of doesn't work anymore. What are you willing to give up? Time. Do you have to give up time? Time with other people, time in new situations? Do you have to devote time to studying, to becoming more of a master of your craft? Do you have to give up opportunity that you think might work for you if it's going to put you in a space where your confidence doesn't work? Let me say this to you. You got to be willing to give something up to gain your confidence at the end of the road? What are you striving for, and how are you going to get there? You've got to know along the way that you're going to lose some things. You're going to lose some people. And in our mind, we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with, as I say, being in a room full of people and all by yourself, doing your own thing when no one believes you, following that vision that you can't explain to anyone. And every time you say something to someone about it, they have a negative image. They give you a negative comment. And so within yourself, if you don't have that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best at this, regardless, in spite of everything that I may face, you'll fail. And then you won't get the lessons from failure. On the journey to confidence, failure is great. Failure gives you the opportunity to learn. Failure gives you the opportunity to pick yourself up. And it's subtle, right? Sometimes we fail, we see it, but most of the time, our failure is little pieces, little things. Like, I got up this morning, I was going to do this, and I went to do that particular thing. And along the way, I heard something in my head, or someone made a comment to me, or I had a thought of when I didn't do this well before. And in that moment, you shift from being confident to having a lack of confidence. Instead of speaking your truth, you listen to the things that have blocked you. And so sometimes it's very subtle. We have to be mindful of when we're walking into situations and knowing no one is going to get you out of it but you. So, what are you saying to yourself? And of course, you've heard me say this before. Affirmations are beautiful. Affirmations, the word, of God, things that lift you up, people in your space that push you forward are some of the things that you have to have in your area, in your head, and in your space, at your reach when you're trying to stay building, when you're trying to keep moving forward. And every now and then, a whisper, a word, a action, a remembrance, or memory takes you back to, oh my gosh, I can't do this. This is so hard. This is going to, be challenging. Yeah, it is. If you're going to do life well, you are going to be challenged. So to think that you don't have things to overcome, or to not sit in that moment when it's time to overcome something and figure it out with someone. Stop what you're doing if it's not working, and go and look at what processes did you do, who did you interact with, how is it going to affect you, and then regroup so that you become better. When I began to ask myself, why does this keep you from moving forward? Why, when you're with this person, do you allow yourself to shrink? Why, when you try to pursue this thing over here, you get into a space where you lose the fact that you're smart. You miss the fact that you're the prize. And so I'm wondering in my head, why is this happening? And you have to stop. I encourage you so much to be able to stop and sit and really work through that thing and figure it out. Because if you don't, when it comes up again, it's going to stop you again. When that person says something again, you're going to falter again. When that situation comes up, you're going to stop yourself from being your best. And we don't have to do that. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Can you do it? Yes. I know my value. It took me a long time to get there. I'm talented in my workplace. I'm talented in the leadership space. I'm talented, in the speaker space, and I'm talented as a person. I'm a great person. So when I began to really believe that, not just say it out of my mouth, but really believe that I had something to offer, those little subtle things that I thought, those memories or those encounters with people that would stop me from showing up and showing up strong in my world, they began to become less and less and less. And then a new one might pop up. But you can use what you already have. Words, it starts with you. And here we're talking about evolving into self love, knowing you and loving you before you can do that for anyone else. So don't rely on someone else to build you up. That has to start with you looking at why you're not built up. What made you not built up? Who made you think less of yourself? Who made you feel like you were less valuable than the next person? And then you can start to work through it. But until you come to terms with why you're afraid to do something, why there is a roadblock, that word that we like to use, right? But I'm going to use the term, why do you let something diminish your value? Who do you allow in your space that diminishes your value? What are you pursuing that helps you to move forward? What and who in your environment will help you to move forward? Those are the things and the people that you want to move forward with and glean to and cling to as you begin to get stronger and stronger in your confidence of yourself. If you wait on someone else to make you a better you before you put in the work, it's going to take longer. That's why I'm here to help you to get to a point where you see what's possible long before you have to do all of these jumps and hurdles and all of those things. Who do you have to confront that hinders your movement? Is it you? Is it your mom? Is it your siblings? Is it your colleague? Is it your habit? What is it that is stopping you? You have to answer that for yourself first before you can listen and get direction and get help and do all of those other things from other people. You're your best resource. You're your first resource. So, what do I want you to take away? I want you to ask yourself, and then I want you to answer, what are you willing to give up so that you can gain? What are you willing to stop doing so that you can gain? Who are you willing to let into your space, and who are you willing to let go out of your space so that you can gain? Because on the road to confidence, you are going to have to give some things up in order for you to take up space in a very powerful way. Thank you for joining the conversation. Let's see how this goes. But you're on the road to doing better if you do you better first. Like, subscribe, all across social media at Susan R. Appleton. Thank you. Y'all be good.